All right, my name is Chris Bettinger. I'm from Carnegie Mellon, and I'm going to show you today about how we're using advanced materials for improving medical devices. Okay, there we go. So thank you. So we're making medical devices smarter and more capable in treating human disease, right? And the problem right now in medical devices is really using suboptimal materials. And this is primarily done because of regulatory restrictions, right? And so let me give you a quick example of that. So stents are going to be an $8 billion market by the year 2015, right? And so this device operates mainly just through one function, and that's to maintain blood vessel patency of about 2 years or so, and then degrade away, right? So that's the main function here, all right? But the problem here is that this material, while FDA approved and relatively safe, is actually in the mechanical properties. So it turns out that this material here is stiff, much like that of a plastic fork, for example. And when we implant this in the human body, this causes damage to the soft tissue. So it can cause inflammation, scarring, and other kinds of complications. Right? So one challenge is how do we make these materials soft and bendable and pliable so that we can reduce these injurious reactions. All right? Now let's talk about functionality. So this is a very simple device and just performs one simple function. So maybe we can make this device smarter, right? Maybe we can embed electronic functionality in this. Maybe we can have sensors that can give healthcare providers information about disease states or vital signs. What if we can impart communication elements so that now we can talk to the device using telemetry, right? So how do we go about doing this? And so this is what we're studying in my laboratory at Carnegie Mellon. And so with respect to mechanical properties, really there's a few design criteria that we set out when we synthesized a material to make for compliant devices, right? So we want this to be compliant, we want it to have tunable degradation, we want it to be also made of small monomers that can be metabolized by the human body. And so when we put these together into our material, we have essentially this compliant elastomeric material that can exhibit degradation timelines between 2 months and even 2 years, right? And so the goal here is really driving towards application-specific medical materials, right? So we think this is a very powerful tool. And so another advantage is that you can process into various form factors, right? And so this is such as microfluidics or films or particles. So it's really a versatile platform material, again, for medical devices. Now, what about electronic functionality? So up until a few years ago, really, the intersection of biodegradability and electronic functionality was sparsely populated with materials, okay? And so we identified naturally occurring materials. So we turned to nature, and so this turns out to be actually a melanoma or skin cancer. And so you should think skin cancer, we're trained to think that's bad, right? But I like to see the good in all things. And here, what I notice is that these black nodules are filled with melanin, and melanin has a really curious electronic switching capability, right? So what we did was we synthesized molecules that look like melanin in many ways, and we can package them into transistors. So we took that molecule, packaged them into these modules, and show that they can perform stably underwater, and after 8 to 10 weeks, that these can actually degrade away, right? So really advancing this idea of biodegradable electronics, right? The notion that you can, again, have medical devices that are both electronically active and resorbable over time. And this is what we're working on in my laboratory. And I think there's a lot of opportunities here, especially in the endovascular spaces, as well as peripheral neural interfaces. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention. I'd like to thank the TR35 committee for selecting me for this honor. I'd like to thank the MIT Tech Review and the organizers for the opportunity to speak. I'd like to thank students, family, and friends for their support. And thank you very much.